All right, and we're back. I was gonna try and wait till after the Cubs game, but they're already losing 7-0. So what the hell is the point? Uh, Rocking the Cub bead work today, but alas, it was not good luck today. Anyways, back with a couple more 87, 88s. Just gonna rip through a couple of these quick for you. Like I said, sad day to be a Cubs fan. My dog's over here freaking. I might hear him eating a little bit. He's in the middle of he's been gorging himself over there. But here we go. First doing the 88. I'm really only looking for honestly a couple cards in each one of each one of these sets. Most of the stuff is just memory lane. A couple of cards would really get me excited though in this set too. Um, let's see. With my trip to the 1989. My trip to the 1989, what is it, spring training? And we'll start out right here. We got Jim Presley, third baseman, Mariners. He was on there we go, boom. Had him already. Then we got Rick Shue. He was a third baseman for the Phillies. He would have been backing up the great Mike Schmidt, so he didn't play a whole heck of a lot. I got in there a little bit more, but yeah, Rick Shue and Mike Schmidt's backup at that time. Next up, we've got Kurt Ford. I remember Kurt Ford the card. I don't really remember Kurt Ford the player. Speedy guy, typical mid '80s Cardinal guy. Got on base and stole bases. If I thought I remembered him being a speedy guy, but yeah, it was typical. That's how the Cardinals beat you back then. They put the ball in play and they stole bases and kept everything kind of steadily moving. Next thing we got Ben Hush. Next up we've got Kevin Seitzer rookie card. Back at the time, people have been pretty excited about Kevin Seitzer. He had a pretty good rookie season. Didn't really take off much from there. He had a decent career, just didn't really. His rookie season was his high water mark, as we would say. Yeah, my dog's freaking out a little bit, but see, there he is. You can see him creeping in the background. Here he is. There you go, buddy. Get on there. All right. Next we have it's been Fred McGriff. I would have been all excited, but this is his brother, Terry McGriff, who did not have the career that Fred McGriff had. I really don't know how much. I think he might have only played that one season even. But Fred McGriff's little brother, he, like I said, didn't have quite the career that Big Brother had. Let's see. Next up, we've got. Here's a fun guy, Brett Saberhagen. He was a really, really good pitcher in his prime. Borderline Hall of Fame, even if you ask me. His problem was injuries, and he'd have a good year, then you get hurt. They have a good year, then you get hurt. They have a good year. It was almost like every other season with this guy. He was really good. Then you'd have a down year or an injured year, but they put together a few years in a row. Brett Saberhagen pitched for the Mets. He was a really good pitcher in his prime. I don't know quite if he should be Hall of Fame, but he's one of those guys. If they put him in, I won't be upset. Next, we got Manny Trio again. I've talked about him in the past. Was not a big Manny Trio fan as a Cub. I knew by that time he kind of sucked. He did have a good early career, though. Like I said, he was part of that Phillies team that won a World Series. There's a guy I don't remember, Jim Pankovitz. Second baseman, third baseman. Sweet name, Jim Pankovitz. That's about all I got for him. Eric Nolte is another one can't say I remember a whole heck of a lot of. Do remember pitching for the Padres, but can't really say much more than that. Some Cubs fans might say he sucked as a hitting coach. We have no idea what really went on, but here we have Chili Davis, who was actually a really good player in his career. Early in his career, middle part of his career. He's been with the Giants the whole time. He bounced around a little bit after he left the Giants, but he was always a really solid middle of the lineup bat. He's had some issues as a hitting coach. I know he's been fired a couple times. I don't know if that's the players, it's him. I don't. Like I said, I have no idea what goes on behind the scenes. We can speculate, but who knows? Next, we got pitcher Jose Nunez for the Blue Jays. Outside of remembering his card a few times, I can't say I remember a whole lot about Jose Nunez. Then we've got Jim Gott, who is a pitcher for the Pirates at this point. Pitched for the Giants. I remember him vaguely. He probably had a couple good seasons. reliever. Yeah, he was an up and down reliever. Jim Gott, yeah, he had his relievers good one year, not so great the next. Average the following year, then great. Relievers are weird like that. But yeah, Jim Gott, anyways, common card. Then we got Mike Moore. He was a pitcher for the Mariners. He's a pretty solid pitcher in his time. Can't say a whole lot about him either. Zane Smith, definitely remember him pitching for the Braves. Again, TBS. I watched a lot of Braves games, so I remember Zane Smith when he came up, and I remember him early in his career. He's one of those first guys I remember as a kid. Just stuck out maybe his name. And last but not least, worst Hall of Famer ever, Harold Baines on the cover of the White Sox team leader card. Mind you, Hall of Famer Harold Baines did not even lead the team in anything that year, let alone the league. Give me one reason why that guy's in the Hall of Fame. Couldn't even lead his own team. Was even a team leader in stats on his own team. That was a pretty average pack, to be honest. Nothing really too exciting in there. Next, we'll do this 87 pack. Pop this open. As you know, I've been having trouble with the gum sticking. So my Al Newman, look at that Expos. Look at that Expos uni. Is that not sweet? If you don't like that Expos uni, if you don't, that doesn't, you don't have a pulse. The Montreal Expos have one of the smoothest uniforms in the history of sports. It's not smooth as a piece of gum stuck on the back. So Al Newman, your card's junk. God, this is not the best. I gotta admit, these are not the best cards. These things are all kind of, you can see them. They're kind of, warped a little bit. None of these are gonna be a 10, even if I flatten them out in a book. Anyways, here's my win a spring training trip. Anyways, we'll start out here. We got Jimmy Key. He was definitely a good pitcher in his prime. Jimmy Key was a really good pitcher for the Blue Jays at one point. Chris Welsh was a pitcher for the Reds at that point. I have no idea who Chris Welsh is. It's clearly a spring training picture there. Next, we've got Reed Nichols. The White Sox, and their softball unis that they wore there in the 80s. Those are so hideous. He was an outfielder. I can't say I remember a whole lot about him. He played for the Red Sox for all his career backup. But good for him. He played in the league for a lot of different years. Next thing we got Bryn Smith, who was actually a really solid pitcher. I remember him early in my childhood, and whenever we faced Bryn Smith, we seemed to lose. He was always a tough one for us. Again, those Expos, missed the Expos. Then we got Jeff Dedman. Dude, I have no idea who that is. I have no idea. He pitched for the Braves. And yes, I do love that logo. I don't care what anyone says. That's a strong logo. Here's a good one. Next, we got Mike Davis of the A's. He was a pretty solid player for a couple years there with the A's. Outfielder. Nothing too special, but definitely was a solid outfielder for them. He was on the I don't know if he was on. I don't know. I think he was gone by the time they started going to the World Series. So a few guys I've never heard of. Ricky Wright. I have no idea who that is. He pitched for the Rangers a few times over the years. One of those. So these guys, they come up, they pitch 4 games, go back to the minors. Come up next year, pitch 5 games, go to the minors. Come next year, they pitch 10 games, get hurt. Come up the next year, they pitch 3 games. He's one of those guys. You got Jim Beatty. He was a pitcher for the Yankees and Mariners. I remember the name. Can't say I remember a whole lot of Jim Beatty. Ron Oyster. He may have been on that 89 Reds team, too. He was second baseman. Solid starter. Nothing real special, but solid. Then we got we'll turn back the clock to Maury Wills. Went back about 25 years on that. Turned back the clock for him at the time, 25 at the time. The heck did he do? Set a record for probably stolen bases or something. Maury Wills was he's a Hall of Famer, stolen bases. That's a rookie Bobby Thigpen. There you go. That's a little exciting. Bobby Thigpen rookie. He actually has at one time held the record for saves in a season. If you're a White Sox fan, you might even want to give me $1 for that one. Heck yeah. This man made $1 right there. There's a White Sox fan that'll give me $1 for that. I know there is. And then here we got Hall of Famer Robin Yount, who I was a big fan of as a kid. I was saying, you guys are in the American League. I like the Brewers. So When you came to the National League, I hated you. If I stayed in the American League, I'd probably have a Robin Yount throwback jersey. No doubt, no lie. No cap, as the kids would say. So Robin Yount, Hall of Famer. Next, we've got Steve Farr. He was a pitcher for the Royals. I think he might pitch for a few other teams. I don't remember Steve Farr that much. I remember the card. Remember him as a pitcher. Can't say. I mean, he played for the Royals. I'm sorry, I didn't watch every team growing up. I never watched a lot of them. Here's George Bell. He was a All-Star back in '86, or '87 All-Star. He was actually really good in his prime. He had a few really good seasons for the Blue Jays. There's a Carl Yastrzemski turned back the clock. Carl Yastrzemski, his grandson Mike plays in the majors now. I thought that's pretty heavy to carry a name like that coming through the minors. Like your last name's Yastrzemski, and I mean your grandpa's all kind of known, but it probably also opened some doors for you too. So probably get you a second look here and there. But good for him. He's definitely earned a spot in the majors. I'm sure his grandpa's proud. Anyways, last but I guess not least, but here we got Don Robinson. He was a pitcher for the Pirates for a long time. Yeah, pitched for the Pirates. A lot of memories there. Anyways, that's it for today. I'm gonna go watch the end of the Stanley Cup playoff and check out a little more of this Brewer Cardinal game. Anyways, other than that, as I always say, be kind, and yeah, hope you guys have a great day, have a great evening. Yeah, be kind, love.